Hello there and welcome. My name is Teacher Alma and I would like to welcome you to this grammar lesson. What we are going to do in today's class, we are going to be talking about a couple different things. The first thing is going to be the spelling. So today we are going to learn to spell words with prefixes R-E and U-N. Now, just to refresh your memory, I just want to remind you the prefixes are words that come before the noun. For example, the word unhappy consists of two things, un and happy. Un is a prefix, which means not. So the word unhappy is made up of two, right? We put them together, and unhappy means the opposite of happy, so non-happy. So today we are going to be talking about that, the prefix R and E and R and E and on, and remember prefixes come before the words. Also, we are going to be talking about suffixes, FUL, LESS, LY, NESS, and Y. For those of you that just need me to refresh your memory, suffixes come after the word, right? For example, the word is careful. So the word careful is a suffix, right? Less is also a suffix. It comes at the end of the word. Now, what do I mean by that coming at the end and coming before the word? Just very quickly so we can go. Unhappy and, for example, careful. So let's take a look at these two words. And here you are going to see the prefix on right here. That's a prefix because it comes before, right? This is FUL, comes at the end. This is suffix. So once again, the prefixes come before the word and suffixes come at the end of the word. So today we are going to be talking about some prefixes and some suffixes. We are also going to be talking about conjunctions and talking about both coordinating conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions. So let's go ahead and get started. So the words that come with prefixes RE and UN are the following. Redo. Now, keep in mind that a prefix re means do again. So, redo means do again, right? Repair, there is a prefix of re there too. Report, reframe, remove, replay, rethink, and return. So once again, let's take a look at these words. Prefixes R, E, redo. Let's hear you. Redo. Perfect. Next one, report. Report. Repair. Repair. Reframe. Reframe. I hope you're noticing how this re comes before the word and therefore it's a prefix. Remove, replay, rethink, and return. All of these are prefixes. Now, the next one is also a prefix, and this prefix is un, unpack, unlike, unfair. Now, remember what I said at the beginning? Un means not, unhappy, unsafe. So not safe, right? Undone. It is not done, right? Uncool, uneven, unsafe, and unsure. Now let's read them one more time together. Let's hear you. So re prefix comes before the word, right? So redo. Let's hear you. Redo, report, repair, reframe, remove, replay, rethink, return. Re. Excellent. Great job. Next one is unpack. Unpack. Think of it like this. Unpack. Put them together. Unpack. Unlike. Unfair. Undone. Uncool. And uneven. Unsafe. Unsure. Now, I want you to stop right here and think about, are there any questions about how we pronounce these words and what is a prefix and what is a prefix re and undo to the word? Any comments, any questions? No? All right, good. So let's write down some of these words for a re. Re. Now I'm going to come up with some of them, but you got to do the rest on your own. Read. Reread means what? Read again. Very good. Excellent. Read again. Okay, next one for un. Remember, I already talked about the word unhappy, right? So this is what I want you to do. Now I want you to think about this, and for homework, you're going to have to write 5 words with the prefix re and 5 words for the prefix un. So reread, redo, reframe, replay, and then 5 words for prefix un. Unlike, undone, unhappy, unsafe, uneven. All right. Great job. All right. Then let's talk about the spelling with suffixes. Once again, remember the prefix comes before the word and suffix comes after the word, right? So today we're looking at the suffixes FUL, LESS, LY, NESS, and Y. So let's start with NESS. The word is redness. Red and ness. You put it together, you get redness. Second one, brightness. Brightness. You put them together and you get brightness. Good job. One more time. Redness. Put together, redness. Brightness. Put together, brightness. Good. Next one is the suffix ly. Now remember, when I say suffix, immediately think about it. Suffix ly means that the word is going to come at the end, right? So here we go. Quickly, highly, badly, and gladly. So ly comes at the very end of the word, being it's a suffix. So quickly, put together, you get quickly. Highly, put together, highly. Bad and ly, badly. Gladly, gladly. And the next one is the suffix full. Mouthful. Mouthful. Think about it. You put some gums in your mouth and you go, mouthful. And so mom tells you, don't talk with your mouth full. What's that? Mouthful. That means your mouth is full of something, right? Full of something. Mouthful. Beautiful. Put together. Beauty and full. Beautiful. Careful. Careful. Helpful. Helpful. Put together. Helpful. Next one. Joyful. Put together. Joyful. Now, let's review this very quickly. Let's start again with ness. Redness. Redness. Brightness. Brightness. Quickly. Highly. Badly. Gladly. And for FUL suffix, mouthful, beautiful, careful, helpful, joyful. Do you see? I hope everybody can hear when I'm saying these words that this full comes at the end. So that's why it makes it a suffix. Mouthful, beautiful, careful, helpful, joyful. When it's highly, gladly, badly, quickly, brightness, redness, right? I hope everybody is noticing that those are suffixes. Now, I'm going to stop for about 10 seconds. Raise your hand if anybody has a question about suffixes and prefixes and those that we talked about briefly right now. So far, so good? All right. Awesome job. Good work. All right. Boys and girls, let's move on. And now we are going to talk about a rule adding est. When we add an est to adjectives, that means most and is used to compare. Now, when we compare something, right, then we are talking about the things, are they the same or are they different? How are they the same or how are they different? Normally, you just add est straight to the adjectives, but there are some exceptions. Boys and girls, there is a lots of rules in English that they're following the rules with some exceptions, right? So let's talk about this one more time. Adding suffix est. This is a suffix because it comes at the end, right? Est means most and is used to compare. We add est at the end of the suffix. So if the adjective already ends with an e, we just add st. Now, here's a couple words here that I want to go over with. Adjective. If the adjective already ends with an e. Now, what is an adjective? Adjective describes nouns or pronouns. For example, this pencil is orange. Orange is an adjective, right? So that's an adjective because that describes this pencil, right? That's an adjective. So if the adjective ends with an E, then we don't have to add an extra EST. We only add ST. When the adjective ends, so here's an example. Rude, rudest. Notice how this rude ends with an E, and that's why we didn't have to add an extra E. We only added one E, right? Rudest. The word rude has that silent E at the end because it's spelled with R-U-D-E, and you only add S-T. When the adjective ends in Y, we change the Y to an I, and then we add EST. Now, this is a tricky one. When the adjective ends in Y, we change the Y to an I, and we add EST. Here's an example. Crazy. Notice how the word crazy ends with Y, right? And that Y changes into an I, and then we add EST. So crazy becomes craziest. If the adjective has a short vowel sound, remember the vowels in English are A, E, I, O, U, because English has 26 letters. All the others are considered consonants. It's only A, E, I, O, U that are considered vowels. So if the adjective has a short vowel sound, A, E, I, O, U, followed by one consonant, then we double the last consonant and then we add EST. For example, thin, 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 thin has that consonant at the very end. It's followed by a consonant. So we have to make sure that the N is doubled. So thin becomes thinnest. Once again, the rule is if the adjective has a short vowel sound, that is followed by one consonant. Then we double that last consonant and then we add EST. So thin becomes thinnest. Thin becomes thinnest. I hope everybody is able to follow along. So here we go to the next part. Next part is weak. Weak becomes weakest. Notice how we have added EST, right? Because that EST, the word does not end with an E. Bumpy becomes bumpiest. I hope you're noticing how that Y needs to be changed to an I, and then we add EST. Quiet becomes quietest. Soft, softest. Fat, fattest. Bright, brightest. Small, smallest. Short, shortest. Fat, fattest. Bright, brightest. Small, smallest. Short, shortest. Big, biggest. I hope you're noticing that in big to become biggest, you add an extra G. Remember the rule? If the vowel is followed by a short consonant, B-I-G, big, then we double the last letter G and then we add EST. Fast becomes fastest. Fine, finest. Notice how for this one, it ends with an E, so we only added ST, right? Cold, coldest. Funny, funniest. Again, I hope you're noticing the rule with that Y changes to an I, right? Slow, slowest. Hot, hottest. Close, closest. Thick, thickest. Wise, wisest. Slim, slimmest. Nice, nicest. I hope everybody's doing well on this one. Let's move on to the next part of coordinating conjunctions. At the beginning of class, I said that we are going to be talking about both kinds of conjunctions today, coordinating and subcoordinating. A conjunction is nothing but a glue that holds words and phrases and clauses. Clauses both dependent and independent clauses. A coordinating conjunction is a conjunction that connects words and phrases and clauses that are coordinate or equal to one another. There are 7 coordinating conjunctions, and they are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. They can easily be remembered by using an acronym FANBOYS. And here is the chart that explains when we use these FANBOYS. F stands for for, and it's asking us to show the reason. Here's an example. A reason for what? She bought a mango for she was hungry. Why did she buy a mango? Because she was hungry. And is to add information. For example, Desiree lives in Alaska and she's a park ranger at the National Forest there. Nor is giving us the negative information. He does not enjoy eating vegetables, nor does he enjoy eating fruit. But means to show contrast. The class was difficult, but everyone ended up receiving a passing grade. Or is used to give choice. For example, we can use a horror movie or we can see an action movie. You give a choice. We can do this or we can do that. Yet is used to show concession or to contrast something. The test was difficult, yet everyone received higher than a C grade. Yet, right? The test was difficult, but yet we still did a good job, right? So is used to show result. I was broke all week, so I had to eat top ramen for every meal. So just a very quick reminder, there are 7 coordinating conjunctions in English, and they can be remembered by using an acronym fanboys. Remember, F stands for, A stands for and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Subordinating conjunction, on the other hand, connects a dependent clause to an independent clause, showing the relationship between them and indicating that one clause is less important. For example, it includes because, or although, or while, or if, or since, and when. They create complex sentences and they help convey the nuisance of cause, condition, time, or contrast. Now, just to tell you very quickly, you have noticing here that I'm using the words coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, independent clause, and dependent clause. This is very important. When something is independent, it can stay on its own. It doesn't need help from anything or anybody else, right? If something is dependent, that means that it depends on something, right? That sentence cannot stay on its own. Now, let me give you an example. Because of her kindness, many people came to her city. Because of her kindness. Because of her kindness. Notice that word because. Because is the subordinating conjunction. But because of her kindness, that's a dependent clause. Because when you keep that, because of her kindness, what, right? You have this part, because of her kindness, what? You're still waiting for something, right? Okay, because of her kindness, what? What's supposed to come after that? That means that because of her kindness is dependent clause. Many people came to her town is a complete sentence because it has a subject, it has a predicate, it has all the components that it needs to have. That is an independent clause. Independent clause is honestly just a fancy way of saying a complete sentence. Dependent clause is a fancy way of saying fragment. Something is missing, right? That sentence is not complete. So we use subordinating conjunctions are those that connect dependent clause to independent clause. I hope everybody's got it. All right, boys and girls, that's it for today's lesson. Keep up the good work. Today we talked about prefixes, suffixes, coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, and I had a lot of fun being here today. Keep up the good work, and I hope to see you again.